So today we're going to do the grand reveal on all these guitars. I was mistaken, I don't have 15 guitars. This Jackson goes inside of this case, but it doesn't fit correctly without some modification, so I have to fix that. But anyway, I'm going to hand the phone off to my lovely girlfriend Victoria. Say hello. And she's going to help me out with the video today. So here you go. Alright. So, first things first. I'm going to show you off my Alvarez acoustics first. I'm going to go with my first Alvarez, this guy here. Now I would read the model number off to you, but unfortunately it was water damaged years ago and I can't read the model on it anymore. But this was my second 12-string acoustic, technically my third 12-string, if you count my double neck I had back in the day. But this guitar has seen more shows than any other guitar combined. I've had it since about 2010, and yeah, I use it at so many performances. I don't really use it much anymore because it's kind of fallen apart a little bit. I got a crack forming right here, but still totally playable, still sounds fine. I just got to put some fresh strings on it because it's kind of toast right now. But it used to go in this case, and now my other 12-string goes in there, which I'll show you right now. Alright, so this is the 12-string everybody's seen so much. I recorded a video with it recently and dropped it and took a chunk out of it, but it's still going to be totally fine. It's just got a scratch on the back. This is an Alvarez. The model number is a AG610EC EAR 12SHB. And what I love about this is the cutaway and the bump out right here to make it a little more comfortable and give you ease of access. It has a faux fretboard. It's not really ebony or rosewood. I can't remember the name of it. I wish I could. But the bridge also matches. It was a different wood that's being used nowadays since the rosewood scare started. But I love this guitar to death. It's got an electronic system in it, and just a piezo. But I got it for live performances, and it's been a very reliable, very fun guitar to play. It doesn't have quite the same mid-range that the Dreadnought does, the other 12-string, but it's what they call a concert grand, I believe, or a concert performer. And I really love the way it plays and sounds. We'll move this to the side for now as well. Okay, this is my last acoustic I have to show you. This is the Dean ML acoustic, ML acoustic they call it. It's also got a piezo system underneath of the bridge. Now, everything I know about sound distribution through densities of materials and shapes and sizes and space told me that this probably wasn't going to be the best sounding guitar a person could buy for an acoustic. However, it's got a decent preamp system in it, so it sounds pretty decent when it's plugged in, and I've done a couple of videos with it. I plan on doing more, but I love that this acoustic features this little guy right here. This is called a volute. It's just an extra chunk of wood that gives a little bit more structural integrity to the back of the headstock for where the neck joint meets. I didn't really think this through on where to put these. So since we ended with the Dean, we might as well continue with the Deans. So going through the line here, this is kind of my #1 guitar. I'm a big fan of the artist whose signature model this is through. But
what's his name?
This is Carl Sanders' signature.
Who's he play for?
He plays for Nile. I was going to say all that, but thank you. Victoria with the save. Now this beautiful guitar features a mahogany body and neck, as well as a flame maple top in transparent black.
Hold it straight at me and horizontal completely. Horizontal.
Sorry. All chrome hardware.
Straight at me. So that, yeah. So
okay.
That I'm just going to...
We'll just get orient the camera. So the only thing I've done to this is I changed the pickup ring. It was black plastic, but I changed it to this actual stainless steel chromed pickup ring. It's got a single Duncan Invader, and there's no control knobs, no volume, no tone. It's straight just plug and play. It features a scalloped fretboard. So if you can see, the fretboard cuts in, and that is rosewood. It's got the volute as well. Now I don't have the truss rod cover on it. I had it signed by Carl Sanders, and I just haven't put it back on yet. But it also features the very unique Dean wing logo that was exclusive originally to this guitar. Now it's got a V profile neck, and it's probably it's a lot sharper than a lot of V profiles. So it kind of comes to a point throughout the center. And I installed the Dunlop strap locks that I put on all of my guitars on it, all my electrics anyway. I think I only have one guitar in my collection that doesn't feature them quite yet, and it will eventually. I normally use Levi straps. I have one for this that's all leather. It's pretty fancy. At the time I bought it, it was more expensive than the guitar I put it on, which is really funny. This is my only SKB case, but I love it to death, and would ideally like more of them. So that's one Dean. Let's do another Dean, shall we?
And this is all my crap. All of it. All of this. Except these comics. But otherwise, this is all bead stuff. Those are my 3 degrees. Well, my high school diploma. And then my 2 degrees. One is an AA, one is ABS. And, in case anybody was wondering what all this junk was.
Now this is my, I gotta whisper a little bit. This is my favorite guitar. Shh, don't tell the other ones, they get jealous. I spent a lot of time and effort putting this guitar together. It was the first guitar I ever fully modified, and it is the most heavily modified guitar I own. This is my 79 series Dean ML with my special Dean form fit case. Now, I'll go through this kind of quickly, but everything about this has been customized except for the pickup rings and the tuning machines. I upgraded the pots and switches to Switchcraft and CTS branded stuff, as well as the input jack. This is a Floyd Rose original base plate with string saver saddles, brass upgrades, and a brass block underneath. I've got all stainless steel hardware for the string locks up at the nut, and for the string retention, or the saddle retention screws. Now the pickups were custom made by Chris Cook and Stratohawk's Guitar Works. The knobs are different than the original stock knobs as well. I've even got the little indicators to let you know what number you're on, just because I think that's a little fancy. But it's also got a V profile neck. Now this is one of only 2 guitars I own that is 24 3/4 scale. All the rest are 25/5. The other one is the ML acoustic, but I love this guitar so much. It sounds good plugged in. It sounds good with distortion or with clean or with any effects you run through it. The bridge tests at 17.2K, and the neck is based off of a 490R or 490T Gibson humbucker for a bridge. I always get them confused which is which, but the same ones you would have found in an Explorer or a Flying V. So the guitar is really hot but very clean sounding since it's hand wound, and performs very well. I've got one more Dean to show you. Oh, shit. This is my first American-made guitar. I did not purchase it new. I wish I did, but I purchased it from a wonderful young man that kept an eye out for me for years for it, and purchased it for himself, and then decided he'd like to sell it to me instead. Picked this up a couple years ago now. Oh, cool, my cables. Forgot about those. This is the Dimebag Darrell signature Primal Concrete Sledge ML, and I have the certificate of authenticity with it as well. signed by Vinnie Paul on 4/20 of 2012. Now, unfortunately, the guitar case kind of smells like cat piss a little bit, but I'm working on that. Anyway, this guitar is very heavy. If I remember right, I believe it's 14 or 16 pounds, which is heavier than your typical Les Paul. It's got a flat mount Floyd Rose original on it. It's my only guitar to feature a flat mount tremolo system, and I kind of like it. The only issue with it is the switch tip busted off, but it still works. I just haven't replaced it yet. Now, here, babes, get a picture of the back of the headstock, too, so they can see that it's number 14 of 333 ever made.
What
are you doing? Okay, cool.
I was just focusing.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's Rojas, which
Huh?
means it's lead-free.
Ah, yes. Actually, I didn't even know that. So, yeah, all good stuff. And that's also a mahogany neck and body. But yeah, that thing is a tank, and it's one of the only guitars Dimebag Darrell used that featured 24 frets and a 25/5 scale length. I love that 25/5. I'm just a big old sucker for it. Okay. So, those are the Deans. And let's go on to the Jacksons really quick, because I got this one sitting here. Now this one's in pieces right now, but is fully functional with all the pieces I have. I just have to put it back together. And this is just a Jackson Randy Rhoads JS32 series. I don't remember the exact model number on it. It's a RR24, JS RR24, I think. I can't remember the exact designation for the red and the reverse headstock, but it's my only guitar I've ever owned that features a maple fretboard. And it's been upgraded with Duncan Invaders, a set of them, just like in the Carl Sanders, and a metal pickguard, as well as a metal cavity cover that I haven't installed quite yet because I have to put the tremolo system back in. But as you can see, I put the Dunlop strap locks on that one as well. And then I've got 2 more Jacksons. People are going to be screaming at me for how I'm handling this guitar right now.
Set it in that box, yeah.
There we go. There we go. All right. And that guitar was purchased by me from a good friend of mine that I do a lot of trading with. A wonderful gentleman by the name of Jeremy Callahan. Good guy. Wonderful taste in guitars. This is one of my favorite guitars, but unfortunately I've got some weird issue with it. This is a Jackson MGX Series Kelly. Now it's an MGX series, which means it was a weird model year, and this case is a little oversized for it, but it's my only guitar I've ever had that features active pickups, EMG 8185 setup. This has been upgraded with all gold hardware and the roller bridge, as well as the fine tuners on the stop tail. Beautiful guitar, plays really wonderfully. I don't have too many stop tails. I haven't owned too many. This one is Indonesian made, and it screams. My only issue with it is that for some reason it sounds really goofy through my PV6505 Plus. It just seems to be overbearing for it. I probably need to buy a compressor, but I've just been kind of against them forever because I like to play all kinds of fun stuff with volume control, and the compressors kind of limit that a little bit. Now this is the guitar that inspired me to play guitar 17 years ago. Now I've only been playing guitar for 15 years, but I've been nerding out, researching, and working on them for much longer. And this was the guitar that inspired me in the beginning to know that, wow, guitars can be awesome. Now this is a Jackson DK2 Professional, Japanese made, Seymour Duncan pickups. And now it's a Jackson licensed Floyd Pro, but I love the way it performs. I've upgraded it with a brass block that I had laying around. 24 frets, 25/5 scale length as always. I even did the fun little reverse trick with the strings just to be a cool guy. But this guitar sounds amazing through distortion or through clean channels, and it's just such a beautiful graphic on there. This was made in 2004, and I was able to find the original listing in Oxfordshire, England, from when they had the guitar and sold it. But I love this guitar. This was a gift by my cousin Christian Irish to me recently, and man, I gotta find a way to pay him back still. So that's all my Jacksons. Let me show you, let me see. Let's do my ESP really quick while it's sitting here. Now this guitar is also out of commission temporarily. This is the only LTD I currently own. I've owned quite a few over the years. The guitar I credit as being my first guitar was an LTD. Now this is an M207. Now I've got the DiMarzio strap lock system on this one. I've got that on one of my Ibanez's as well. But this guitar has a licensed Floyd on it as well. Duncan Design pickups, 25/5 scale length, 24 frets like I always like. Now I broke a tuning machine, that's why it's out of commission right now, so I'm going to buy a fresh brand new set of tuners for it and likely put these on a different guitar, seeing as how they're not stamped with a logo, but they are quality tuners. I love this guitar so much, but my original interest in owning 7 strings was to eventually learn how to play Flight of the Bumblebee. It's supposed to be more ergonomic to do it on a 7 string than it is to do it on a 6, and that's really the biggest motivation for it. But I love this guitar. The M207 is not really a common one nowadays. It wasn't a very high-end guitar, but it's performed really well for me over the time I've had it. I've spent a lot of time with it. Honestly, out of my electrics, that one has probably the most play time out of my current collection. So now let me show you my beautiful Ibanez's. Let's see if I can get to this one okay. I should show you this one first because it's my favorite of the two. However, most people agree they like the other one better. Now, you don't see these in this color as much. This is the second one I've owned. My first one was white. Most of the time you see the chameleon, but this is the black Ibanez XPT 700. Indonesian crafted. Now this one was stamped as a factory second, but there are no issues with it, so I'm not sure why. Ibanez Low Pro 2, I believe. Trem system on it. DiMarzio deactivator pickups, which are wonderful for cleans, but a little lackluster for distortion, but that's okay with me. I crank so much distortion that I kind of like the clean tones shining through. But this guitar is gorgeous. This is from the first year of production, as per the heel joint. And like I said, I got the strap locks on it. Now, babes, can you get a close-up of this? They stamp it with a 000 for a factory second, which means it was rejected. But like I said, there's no issues with the guitar at all. I love this so much. I was looking for this for many years after I had to sell my first one. Unfortunately, I had to sell my first one over some pretty big financial issues with not being able to eat. But after many years of searching, my friend at Guitar Center, Lena Cat, called me in one day to tell me that she found one, and I traded in a guitar I had just bought, another Jackson DK2, just to purchase that one. Now, here's the one everybody agrees is kind of their favorite, which, don't get me wrong, I love it. I use it for live performances more often than not for electrics, just because of its versatility, but, well, bam! This is a Ibanez RG2 25th anniversary reissue of the RG2. So it's labeled the RG2 XXV, Indonesian made. I've got the colorful DiMarzio strap lock system on it, as well as all of my strings are either DR, these are the DR Neons, or I use the DR Veritas or the DR Tight Fits. I like to use the DR Pure Blues as well, but I also will use just the GHS boomers on my Strats. But yeah, the DR neons perform really well on this guitar, and I like the color aesthetic of the multiple colors, as well as when I get the strap out and put that all on. But all I've done is change the knobs and the strings and the strap lock system. This one is really unique because this is also a low profile trem system, but on the back side here you can see there's a thumb screw for tensioning the tremolo springs to do quick adjustments if you need to on the fly. I never have to because I'm one of those set it and forget it kind of guys, but it's very helpful in the event that you need to in a pinch. So, on to the fenders. Now, one of these is a fender licensed through Warmouth, but you'll see. It looks like a piece of trash, but it is arguably my best sounding guitar. These, let's see here. There we go. So this is an all rosewood neck and fretboard, also featuring scalloped frets. It's got this, pretty crappy spray paint job all over the neck and body. But I kind of like the aesthetic of it. I got it at a pawn shop and then paid that same person, Chris Cook from Stratohawks Guitar Works, to put in 59 spec single coils in here, as well as the CTS pots, Switchcraft switch, and input jack as well. But it sounds like a 59 Stratocaster, and when they're hand wound like this, like I said, you get so much more clarity and note definition. Now I use GHS boomers on this guitar and on my bass sometimes, but right now I've got one DR Black Beauty, which is another string I like to use, on the high B, just because I broke a string and needed to replace it and it was the proper gauge. But I kind of like that one black string on there because it kind of reminds me that I don't use those strings so much. If I hit the black string, then maybe I didn't mean to go that far, but
We have 5 minutes of video left.
that's okay. I only have one left.
Cool.
Alright, so at least I think I only have one left. Let me see, I went through all of them. Yeah, because this case is empty. So this is my one bass I currently own. It's my second bass I've had in my collection. I started off with a Squier, vintage modified, and then I got this guy. It's a Mexican-made jazz bass, just a jazz bass standard. Oh. This is a CNC case, or wait, is it CNC or is it G&G? Oh, it's G&G. My bad. G&G case, beautiful case. They build custom cases for all of Fender stuff, and I keep my Hartkey preamp in here because I do not have a bass amplifier. But this gorgeous beauty is 2, maybe 3-tone sunburst. I can never tell with some of these finishes on the bass. But I've got the DR Black Beauties on here, and I am a fingerstyle bass player. Somebody upgraded this with passive EMG X Series pickups, which I'm not the biggest fan of them, but they do sound really nice in this bass, so I'm probably going to leave them. It's got the open gear tuning machines, which I'm not sure were standard on here. They might be an upgrade. I was thinking about putting drop tuners on every string, just for fun, but I don't know that I will. I might only do it on the low E. Now, I got the strap locks on this one as well. This guy's got some weight to it, but no neck dive. And I'm a big fan of jazz basses because of people like Geddy Lee, so I love this one. But that's all of my guitars. I do have an organ as well that I'll do another video on sometime. But for now, thank you so much for sharing, or thank you so much for watching, and share with your buddies. Please subscribe and tell my lovely girlfriend Victoria thank you for doing all of her hard work. And you guys rock. Much love. Appreciate it.